Today, we're going to review a shoe that Asics claims is a long run cruiser, making your training feel smoother and more consistent. Today, we're going to review the Asics Glideride Max. Hey runners, and welcome to my channel. My name is Letty. I'm also the host of the weekly marathon running podcast, so feel free to check that out. But today we're going to talk about the Asics Glideride Max. But before, quick disclaimer, I purchased this shoe with my own money, so all opinions are completely mine and nobody has any influence on them. And with that, let's get started. We're going to talk about the model and purpose of the shoe. All right, so according to their website, this shoe was created to be a long run daily trainer. Emphasis probably on long run, and we'll talk about that as we talk about the cushion of the shoe, but let's hop into the tech specs first. All right, so when you're on the product page of the shoe, you'll be able to scroll down where you'll see that the shoe comes in at a 6mm drop, heel to toe drop, and it comes in at 9 ounces. In addition, you'll also see that when it comes to the support of the shoe is listed as neutral. And when you look at the specs for cushioning, there is extra cushion on the shoe. And with that, we'll talk about the key features of the shoe. We're going to start from top to bottom though. We're going to start with the upper. When you look at the shoe first, it'll remind you a lot of the Nimbus 26 and the Nimbus 25. It looks very similar. The upper is made out of engineered mesh that is supposed to be very breathable. The tongue of the shoe is gusseted, and it seems to be a lot more padded than other Asics shoes. When you step into the shoe first, you'll realize that you're stepping onto the Ortholite, I think it's called, insole, which are super soft. So you almost feel like you're stepping onto a foam pad, which is good. And it'll make you wanna run and walk in the shoe, to be honest. The heel of the shoe is very, very thick and very foamy and padded and sturdy. You literally almost can't squish it. There's a pull tab to help you put the shoe on, but honestly, I haven't seen a heel this thick and padded in a while. I think the shoe, as we talked about, it weighs 9 ounces. I think most of the weight is probably in this very cushioned and sturdy heel. All right, so now onto the foam of the shoe. As you can see, you have a white part and down here the yellowish part. The top part is the new foam by Asics. It's called the FF Blast Max foam, which is supposed to be cloud-like softness and a very good foam for energy return. Then at the bottom, you'll have the FF Blast Plus Eco Foam, which is very lightweight and also supposed to be really good for energy return. So you have those two foams here, and then through these two foams you have a plate. This plate is not a carbon plate, it's a EVA plate. EVA is it's a plastic, and the shape of which is the glide technology of the shoe, which creates a pretty aggressive rocker, which I found very interesting because normally the rocker starts a little bit earlier and your toes are kind of sitting on it. In this case, your toes are overhanging the rocker, which automatically tips you forward. So I found that very interesting. It's a different sensation than a lot of other running shoes. Then at the bottom of the shoe, you have a mixture of the Asics grip for grippiness, and then an AHAR Plus, I think it's called, outsole, which is supposed to help with the durability. I can tell right here that this is a very hard rubber compared to that one being a lot softer, which I think is great because I constantly land right there when I run, and after having ran in the shoe, you can't really see the wear of the shoe yet. So that's another thing about the shoe. So two different types of outsoles on this shoe. Now when it comes to the colors of the shoe comes in the birch black, which is the shoe that I'm showing you guys, and also in the black pale pink. For men, you also have the birch black, and instead of the black pink, you have the black oatmeal for the guys' shoes. Now, when it comes to the price point of the shoe is listed at $170 in the United States. All right, so when it comes to comparing this shoe to other shoes, I decided to do the comparison within the Asics line just because there is a few shoes that are comparable to the shoe, and it'll probably help you make a decision of what shoe to get if you like the Asics brand. You have the Asics Nimba, you have the Nova Blast, and the Super Blast. So let's hop into all of that. All right, so let's start with the Nimbus 26. The Nimbus 26 is a neutral daily trainer, just like this one. However, it comes in at a little bit more weight. I think it comes in at 9.5 ounces, where this shoe is a 9-ounce shoe. This shoe also feels a lot softer than the Nimbus, but the Nimbus feels more stable. So if you're using this shoe and you need stability, or you're using it for daily walks, while the shoe feels really soft, I feel like the Nimbus 26 just feels more stable. All right, so moving on to the Nova Blast. The Nova Blast is the lighter one of all three of the shoes, coming in at only 8.3 ounces, whereas again, the Glideride Max comes in at 9 ounces. I would recommend the Nova Blast for more of a workout type of tempo run, shorter runs. If you're gonna go with Asics, just because it has a little bit better responsiveness, and again, it's lighter. And last but not least, let's talk about the Super Blast, which is also a long run daily trainer. The Super Blast is a little bit lighter than the Glideride Max, coming in at 8.8 ounces. That's 0.2 ounces less than this shoe, so it's not really a lot. But the Super Blast does feel a little bit more stable than this shoe, and it also feels very bouncy. So they are very similar, and I think it comes down to personal preference. Now, my first impression when I opened the box with the shoe in it, I was very excited about the color scheme of the shoe, just because it looks fast. It looks like it could glow in the dark, but it doesn't. But when I stepped into the shoe, I was almost sold on the shoe because of the way that the insole feels. It almost feels like this shouldn't be a running shoe. It almost feels like it's a walking shoe because of that soft insole padding that we have in here. Also, the rocker is a little bit aggressive, but it didn't throw me off, because I figured, okay, the shoe feels like it shouldn't be a running shoe, but maybe the rocker will help it. And so I went running with it. I'm going to show you what the shoe looks like when I wear it. So now onto my opinion about the shoe. After running in the shoe for a little while, I came to appreciate the insole again and this very soft foam. I have a very neutral gait, so I'm not big on getting stability shoes, so I did okay wearing this shoe. I did like the rocker in the shoe, because while the shoe feels heavy, it makes you run forward just because of that aggressiveness of this rocker. I am not a huge fan of the thicker gusseted tongues, just because I live in Florida and it's always hot and humid, so the shoe felt quite heavy. I didn't feel like it felt as breathable as it could have felt. Comparing it to other shoes, I've had a better experience with that. But again, that's me living in Florida. We don't have cooler climates, so if I probably lived in another state that now has fall weather, I would have probably appreciated the shoe a little bit more. Another thing I noticed when I was running is that this heel is very comfortable, but it is very cushioned, and almost too much of cushion. For me, personally, I like a little bit less going on there, but maybe that's what you need. Maybe that's what you need when you have such a high stack height and this combination of foam that would make the shoe maybe unstable. So maybe that all plays together. I'm sure those shoe engineers know what they're doing when they put this heel together. But again, for me, running in Florida, this heel was soaked by the end of my run, and that's unfortunate, but all in all, the shoe felt very good. It's definitely a great shoe to use for me when I do recovery runs, when I do easy runs. I just had a workout yesterday and I felt tired, and wearing the shoes, I really enjoyed putting my feet into. Again, I'm big on not having foot fatigue, and this shoe helps with that. All right, so pros and cons of the shoe. This shoe is a beautiful, aesthetically pleasing shoe, which is obviously super important, right? No, seriously though, I love this color pattern, and I have tested it through my washer, because you guys know I throw my shoes in the washer because I try to run barefooted, and it came out almost looking brand new again. That's great. So onto that with the durability, that's another pro. The shoe is very durable. This foam is very grippy up here, but if you are somewhat of a heel striker, this rubber down there is gonna last a bit longer than maybe other rubbers, right? Another pro of the shoe is that it's very cushy and squishy, and it feels great when you're running in it. Like I said, it feels very easy on your feet. Your feet can recover from their previous runs, so that's really nice. The cons of the shoe is, again, personal preference. It's that I don't like as much going on here with this super firm heel structure and the tongue being as thick as it is. But I wish the shoe wasn't as heavy. I feel like there would have been a great potential, because you do feel somewhat of an energy return with the shoe. If it hadn't been so heavy, maybe that would work out a little bit better. But then again, you know, I'm a big advocate in reading what the brands want the shoe to be for, and they do want the shoe to be for long runs and easy long runs. And I think had it been a little bit lighter, maybe it wouldn't be a long run shoe. Maybe we would try to use it as a tempo shoe. So I think all in all, this shoe is really good. In summary, who do I recommend the shoe for? Again, I recommend the shoe for anyone that is looking for a long, easy run shoe for their shoe rotation, because this shoe does feel very cushiony. It's not one of those mediocre shoes. You really can feel a great cushion and a rocker with it, so it'll keep you going forward. So if you're looking for a shoe to accompany you on your easy long runs for your marathon training, I think this is definitely a good shoe for that. And I think that's all I got for this shoe review. If you guys have any more things to add to this, please put them down in the comments below so other people can read what your opinion is on this shoe. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If this content is of any value to you guys, then I invite you to subscribe and stay tuned for my next videos. Until then, have a great week of running.